everybody, Mrs. Hales here with another art class. Today we're going to start a 2-day project and I call it Tops and Bottoms because it is named after a book that I love. I'm going to read this story to you and try to figure out how the bunny character is fooling the bear character and kind of what their overriding characteristics are or personality traits. Okay, let me read you the book and then I'll show you the project. Tops and Bottoms, adapted and illustrated by Janet Stevens. Once upon a time, there lived a very lazy bear who had lots of money and lots of land. His father had been a hard worker and a smart business bear, and he had given all of his wealth to his son, but all Bear wanted to do was sleep. Not far down the road lived a hare. Although Hare was clever, he sometimes got into trouble. He had once owned land too, but now he had nothing. He had lost a risky bet with a tortoise and had sold all of his land to Bear to pay off the debt. Hare and his family were in very bad shape. "The children are so hungry, Father Hare. We must think of something," Mrs. Hare said one day. So Hare and Mrs. Hare put their heads together and they cooked up a plan. The next day, Hare hopped down the road to Bear's house. Bear, of course, was asleep. "Hello, Bear. Wake up. It's your neighbor, Hare, and I have an idea." Hare opened one eye and grunted. "We could be business partners," Hare said. "All we need is this field right here in front of your house. I'll do the hard work of planting and harvesting, and we can split the profit right down the middle." "Yes, sir, Bear. We're in this together. I'll work and you sleep." "Aw," said Bear. "So what'll it be, Bear?" asked Hare. "The top half or the bottom half? It's up to you. Tops or bottoms?" Let's see," Bear said with a yawn. "I'll take the top half." "Yeah, right, tops." Hare smiled. "It's a done deal, Bear." So Bear went back to sleep. Hare planted, Mrs. Hare watered, and the whole family weeded. Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, "Wake up, Bear! You get the tops, and I get the bottoms." "Huh?" said Bear. Hare and his family dug up the carrots, the radishes, and the beets. Hare plucked off all the tops and tossed them into a pile for Bear and put the bottoms aside for himself. Bear stared at his pile. "But Hare, all the best parts are in your half." "Well, you chose the tops, Bear," Hare said. "Now, Hare, you tricked me. You plant this field again, and this season I want the bottoms." Hare agreed. "Okay, Bear, it's a done deal." So Bear went back to sleep, and Hare and his family got to work. They planted, watered, and weeded some more. And guess what Bear did? Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, "Wake up, Bear, wake up! You get the bottoms, and I get the tops." Hare and his family gathered up the lettuce, the broccoli, and the celery. Hare pulled off the bottoms for Bear and put the tops in his own pile. "Huh?" said Bear. Bear looked at his pile and he scowled. "Hare, you cheated me again." "But Bear," Hare said, "you wanted the bottoms this time." Bear growled, "Oh, you plant this field again, Hare. You've tricked me twice, and you owe me a season of both tops and bottoms." "You're right, poor old Bear," sighed Hare. "It's only fair that you get both tops and bottoms next time. It's a done deal, Bear." So you guessed it, Bear went back to sleep, and Hare and his family got to work. They planted, watered, and weeded some more. Bear slept as the crops grew. When it was time for the harvest, Hare called out, "Wake up, Bear, wake up! This time you get the tops and the bottoms." Well, there in front of Bear's house lay a high field of corn. Hare and his family yanked up every corn stalk. Hare tugged off the roots at the bottom and the tassels at the top and put them in a pile for Bear. Then he carefully collected the ears of corn from the middle and placed them in his own pile. Bear rubbed his eyes and watched in disbelief. "See, Bear, you get the tops and the bottoms, and I get the middles this time." "Yes, sir, Bear, it is a done deal." Well, by now, Bear is wide awake. "That's it, Hare," he hollered. "From now on, I'm going to plant my own crops. I'm going to take the top, the bottom, and the middle." Hare and his family scooped up the corn and hopped down the road towards home. Hare never again slept through a season of planting and harvesting. Hare bought back his land with the profit from the crops, and he and Mrs. Hare opened a vegetable stand. Although Hare and Bear learned to live happily as neighbors, they never became business partners again. So I would say the bear's overriding kind of personality trait or characteristic is that he was lazy, right? He didn't really have to work very hard previously for his house. They said that his grandpa bear or his dad had left him the house. And so he was kind of lazy. And then the bunny, I would say the hare, he was a hard worker, but he was also kind of sneaky because he figured out a way that he could take advantage of Bear. He didn't really do anything wrong by figuring out what to grow so that he could take, the top of the plant. So in that case, he took things that grew on the top of the ground, like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, lettuces, things like that. Things that grew in the middle, he took the corn, because you've got the roots and then you've got the stalk. And then for the bottom crops, he took things like root vegetables, like carrots and potatoes. So he figured out a way very wisely to fool Bear. So what we're going to do is make our own garden pictures, and you're going to have to show things under the ground and then things that are growing above ground. So in my case, the things that I like to eat are beets and carrots that grow underground. So I put those, and then I put some little mice and some earthworms. And then the things that I like to eat above ground are broccoli and Brussels sprouts and sugar snap peas and corn. So I wanted to draw those, and I put a TP for my sugar snap peas to grow on and a little bluebird. So you can really include whatever you want to include. I would say draw a line maybe in the middle of your paper or slightly below, and then start your root vegetables below that. And then you'll have if you work slightly below, if you put that line slightly below the halfway mark of your paper, then you'll have more space up above to put things growing up above ground. But it's really all what you want to focus on. Like if you want to draw tons of like centipedes and all kinds of creepy crawly things that live underground in the dirt, you can have more underground in your picture. And then if you want to draw more of like vegetables or fruit or something like that, you can have more space above ground. So you can change your composition. So I'm drawing my beet now, and I drew some earthworms. I drew everything in pencil, and then I'm showing you the Sharpie outline because it's easier for you to see that. So I'm just going over what I already drew in pencil. And by the way, you can use a Sharpie or you can use a black crayon, or if you don't want to, you don't have to outline your what you drew. I like that look, so I'm outlining with Sharpie, but you're welcome to use black crayon is my next favorite choice. And then my third choice would be black oil pastel, just because it smears easily. Now I'm trying to wrap these, the growing bean tendrils around these TP legs that I made. So think about when we wrapped the snake in our rainforest pictures around the tree. So that's kind of what it would look like. It just goes around and around. So you can't see the back of the vine. You can just see the front. So you could draw any animals you want in your picture. I have mice and earthworms and birds. Really anything that you would find in a garden, you could put in there. Turtles, crickets, grasshoppers, butterflies, bumblebees. We have bunnies in my yard. We had a possum and a raccoon in our yard before. So you can really put any animal. Oh, we have a chipmunk right now too in our yard. So any animal that you want to put in there, you can. I had fun drawing the broccoli because the leaves on broccoli are really big, but the broccoli plant itself looks like a miniature little tree. So I thought that was kind of fun to draw. And then Brussels sprouts are really cool. I don't know if you've ever seen these Brussels sprouts at the grocery store, but sometimes they just cut off the whole stalk and they leave the Brussels sprout on the stalk. So sometimes when you get them at the grocery store, instead of buying the individual Brussels sprout, you can buy this whole giant stalk with all these round things stuck to it. It's super cool. It kind of looks like something like from another time or another planet. I don't know. They're really strange looking. And once you get finished outlining everything, we're going to color these in next class. So, and you can really color them in however you want. You could use colored pencil, which would take longer. You could use crayons. I'm going to use oil pastels. You could even paint everything if you really love to paint. So a good goal for today is to get everything drawn and outlined in preparation for us coloring next week. Supplies you're going to need today are a pencil, eraser, 12 by 18 piece of paper, and either a black crayon or a Sharpie. I'm going to leave you with some common illustrations for like common vegetables that you would see growing in a garden around here. And if I can find some fruit illustrations, I'll leave you with some of those too. You can see what the plants look like. You might have to make up what you think the roots look like if you don't know. And I'll see you guys